But we are back with another episode of the Ron's Way podcast. And today we got Ricco Ross from Tyler Perry's Beauty in Black. Now, let me say, it's been it's been what, 3 months since the last time I talked to you? I think it was like 3 or 4 months now, right?
I think so, yeah.
It was like 3 or 4 months, and exactly what you said 3 or 4 months ago, like you were exactly right. The
Okay,
show
what did I say?
I was tuned in. I was tuned in. Like, when I say I binge watched it for, I want to say 2 days after it came out. I watched every episode, and it was crazy because I said I know when I actually go and watch it, I won't stop. So I need to pick a day to where I'm not bothered, I'm not doing anything,
Mhm.
and I watch every single episode, every single
Wow, dude, that was a marathon.
episode. And then my mom, I would call my mom like, "Mom, did you watch it? Did you watch it, Mom?" And she goes, "No, did you watch it?" I said, "I said, yeah, I watched it. It was
Well,
really
I knew it was going to have a compelling effect on audiences because even when I read it, I
yeah."
remember when I was going to read it, I said I'm going to read two episodes a day just to catch up. And the first day I opened it up, I read 4 episodes because I just could not stop. I wanted to know what was happening next, and I just thought this is going to get the fans. If we do it right, it's going to get the fans because the writing is supporting us so well.
No, it was really good. And what got me hooked, like I told you before, that first scene where it was you, Debbie, it was Richard Lawson, and you guys were all in the office from the first
Oh,
part one. That's what really got me hooked. And then part two, I thought Charles died. I thought he died. I thought he died. You guys got me. I thought Charles
we
died.
got you.
Yeah, and then comes to find out it was his fleeing that stole his car, going to go
Bingo.
steal out of his house. And I'm like, oh, okay, 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 okay. But yes,
All right, that's good.
right. So,
It's funny that you should mention that one scene because that one scene in the office when everybody gets together
mhm,
and you see the two big brothers clash. That was the scene when Tyler, after the scene was shot, he was setting up to do another take of it,
mhm.
and he walked in the room and he pointed to the cast and he told to the cast, "Everybody, I want you to look at that monitor over there." And we looked at the monitor he was pointing at, and there were about 50 people around the monitor. They were extras, some of them were actors, they were producers, they were screen, but there was like 50 plus people watching the monitors. And he said, Rico, he says, cat to the cat, he says, we don't see this often. This doesn't happen a lot. They're looking at the scene that you guys just shot,
Mhm.
and they don't have to look at that. They want to look at it. They saw what we were doing and got so invested in it that they wanted to see it on screen. And that was his hint that we had a winning combination if we could just do it right.
It was so good, man. It was so good. So,
Thank
you
you.
know, we're ready for season two, right? So have you gotten a call from Tyler Perry that says, "Hey, clear schedule, season two film is about to come up. Like, can you tell me something?"
I can't tell you anything other than
Uh-huh.
that it has been announced that we have been greenlit for season two.
Mhm.
My character was written to pass in season one. The fans have created this huge campaign to keep horrors alive, and I do know that the people upstairs are hearing their call. So it is amazing to see the power of fandom.
Okay.
When fans put their mind to something and they all get on board, it creates this energy and this synergy that begins to be something larger than maybe even what they expected. I mean, I think it started off as a few people singly calling out for horrors to stay alive, and then it got this momentum, and now it is a different animal because the people upstairs are listening, and when you do a TV series, often what you have to do is you have to do show them a first episode or first 2 or 3 episodes, and then they want you to show them a breakdown of how you would proceed with the following episodes. And so when you start talking about rewriting, it's not as simple as you just make a decision. Oh, okay, I'll just rewrite it. No, it requires a lot of people agreeing upon the same process,
Mm.
and so that's not an easy transition to make. But I will say one thing: the fans for Horace, this character that Tyler has written, the people have fallen in love with this character. It is surprising to me because he's not always a nice guy, but they fall in love with him, and that love has grown to the point where it is making a difference in the production schedule. So I'm waiting to see what's going to happen, but I'm looking forward to it, and I'm just loving all the support that the fans are giving me because I'm not, I don't spend a lot of time on social media, and I even the time I do spend on social media, I try and reduce it. But it is infectious. I am so filled with gratitude and appreciation, and you just don't know. You don't know how you can make somebody feel, just by I just walk out sometimes when I meet somebody and they tell me that I've made their day just because we bumped into each other. So it's a beautiful thing to be a part of.
Good, good, good. Now, what was your favorite scene on part two?
My favorite scene on part two. I don't remember if it was a part two or part one, but I really did like the scene with me and Harold, the Judge Harold. Or we're just having a man-to-man conversation, but I give him a stick of dynamite to put in his mouth.
Yeah, it was either the dynamite or it was either he gave him a ultimatum. It was something.
Right,
Yeah,
cigar or dynamite, and so
yes.
that scene was. I think the scene was. I like the scene because we played a little bit with it. Some things went wrong in the scene that we didn't expect, but we didn't get shaken. We just moved on and just worked and improvised and when the scene was all put together, I thought it worked. And then some fan made some type of mashup video of it, and it was just a beautiful mashup with that scene, and I really began to love that scene.
Now, my favorite scene is when you were poking Rain with your cane, and I said,
You are kidding me.
"No, it wasn't." Let me tell you, like, I really
Kidding me. That
love
was your
Horace.
favorite scene.
Horace character is really evil, right? But he's very strategic, right? So he's evil, but he always has some type of plan in motion to get what he
Mhm.
wants. That's why I
I
like,
like that.
you
I
know,
like I like your description of them
yes.
because I had a conversation with the producers early on, and I said, I feel like Horace is the antagonist sometimes, and sometimes he's the protagonist. And I said one of the things I've always felt when I play uh, the villain is that the villain has to feel just as justified by his actions as the hero does by his actions.
Right.
So if you're doing something that's malicious or violent, you're not doing it just to be mean. You're doing it because you believe that you're justified in your actions. And I think that's one of the things that makes some of the 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 things that Horace do acceptable because, as you just said, he's doing it, and it is for the bigger picture.
Mhm.
It is not just this incident. He's looking at the bigger picture, and I have to be effective in the large in the large frame of everything. And so I think that's why a lot of these scenes, even though they may be malicious, they tend to work because he is not just being mean for the sake of being mean.
Right. He has some type of plan up his sleeve, whether,
Right.
whether that's good or bad.
Right.
And
That's right. That's subjective.
I was so shocked when I did not see that coming. Now, and I told everyone, I said, Kimmy's gonna run the company. I didn't know how or when,
You
but
saw it,
I
huh?
said it's gonna come about. But I never suspected it to be where she became a wife. I'm like, hey, they got me. They got me. They got me. It was good. That was a good one.
Nice, nice. I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
it was heading in that direction, but when it came so fast that I think it caught the audience a little by surprise, and I know it definitely caught the family by surprise.
Oh, now, I'm gonna ask you what the fans want to know. Did you at least get the script for
For
season?
what? Did I get the script for season two?
Did you at least get the script? That's all. That's it. Just say yes or no. Just say yes or no. That's it. Just say yes or
I
no.
can't hear you. I can't hear you. It's going out. The sound's going out.
Dramatic, huh? Yeah. Because I know you're over there practicing. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Okay, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Oh,
You know, they we shoot we when we shoot shot this thing, he shoots so fast, and we don't get the scripts a lot of with a lot of leeway ahead of time. So last season when we got the scripts, I remember thinking I have to read at least two scripts a day just to be able to read all 16 episodes before I hop on a plane. So we didn't get the scripts a long time in advance. And I think part of that is that I think he's working on so many different projects that once he starts focusing on this project, he just gives it all his attention. And so we don't get the scripts a whole lot of time in advance. But when we did get the scripts, they were pretty tight. There wasn't a lot of changes in them. And we didn't get them all at one time. I kind of feel like we got them as he was writing them. Like we would get four scripts and then we would get four more. And it would be like that where you would actually get them, the scripts and not in all in one at one time. And so I'm assuming the same thing will happen when second season comes along, that they'll wait until it gets closer to shooting date, which we don't even know when that shooting date is. I mean, we've just found out just recently that there is going to be a second season. Um, I know that he already has plans for it because he's already talked about how it is going to be a serious roller coaster and you better fasten your seatbelt. So I know he's already got it in his head. He's probably already got parts of scripts, but then to send all those scripts out, you have to have it almost in its finished position, or it's finished as a finished script. Because I think once he starts going, every script has to kind of work because it's leading into another script, and that script's leading into another. So there's not a lot of change that happens after we start getting the scripts.
because I know you told me last time that you were in your trailer and the assistant had brought you, like you said, it was like a really thick packet of the script, and you had to memorize it within, I think you said hours. Like,
That's right. That's right. The first
okay.
the first day I get on set, because they had told me, they said, listen, he shoots very fast. He doesn't shoot like Hollywood.
Right.
And so when you think shoot fast, you think, well, normally in Hollywood, we shoot 6 or 7 pages a day. Maybe he'll do 10 pages a day. And
Mm-hmm.
I walk in there and there's a stack of papers that's over an inch thick. And I'm thinking, he's surely not shooting it in chronological order where this is the first episode. And so I remember asking the AD, I said, what is this? He goes, that's today's shooting schedule. It was 81 pages for the first day. And usually the first day, you try and not put so much on the first day because people are still trying to figure it out. So you usually do a light first day. It was 81 pages the first day. And I think we averaged about 100 pages a day. One day on my birthday, April 16th last year, we did 121 pages on that day. And I remember we shot until like 4 o'clock in the morning, but at 1 o'clock in the morning, everybody was tired. And Tyler pulled out his phone and started DJing, woke everybody up, had people doing line dances outside. And once he got them awake, boom, it was back to work. And so that's the way he does it. He senses what the energy of the cast and the crew, and he makes adjustment to make it work. And we don't normally shoot over 12 hours. We didn't normally shoot over 12 hours, but that day we were behind and he wanted to get some things done and it was night shoot. So we ended up shooting like 15 hours and it was happened to be on my birthday. And fortunately enough, while he was DJ, he also played some Stevie Wonder Happy Birthday to me. So that was a nice little plus.
Yeah, because I remember you told me that Tyler had bust out the
Yes, yeah.
box. Everybody started dancing, and he was like, "All right, time to go film again." So I do remember.
There you go. Have you ever interviewed him?
I have not, and that's one of like my goals in life is to interview Tyler Perry because I feel like what's so crazy too. People don't know. Um, when he got his big break, because I don't know if you watched his full story because I watched it like a million times. The day that his first play went viral is on my birthday. Crazy.
Oh wow,
Because like it went like he sold out his first show because he tried. Like he said, he tried 2 times, and the third time it was,
that's right.
and the third time was on my birthday, which was March 12th.
Was it really? I remember him telling that
Yeah,
story. I remember him
yeah,
telling that story.
yeah.
No, he's a good interviewer because the man, because of his experience, he has an old soul. I think that's why he plays Medea so well, is
Yeah.
that he does have an old soul. And I think one of his first one of his first desires for as a profession was to be a minister. And so when he talks like somebody who has wisdom beyond their years. And that goes into filmmaking as well. It goes into this production, a lot of the things that he does. So he's a great orator. If you ever get a chance to interview him, I think you'd be very happy because the brother does he is special. There's something special about him. And I've worked with the biggest directors in the world. I'm not talking about in America. I'm talking about in the world. I've worked with Brian uh, Brian De Palma on Mission Impossible. I've worked with James Cameron on Aliens. I've worked with Gus Van Sant. I've worked with Stanley Kubrick, uh, and and out of all these directors, Tyler is among them. And it's not because he has these films that has all these Oscars. It's because his contribution to filmmaking is going to be the future of filmmaking. He is doing, I think I said this before, he is doing to film what Elon did to the car industry. He's not trying to take something that's old and tweak it and make it a little better. He says, no, let's just do it completely different. And that's what artists do. Artists think outside the box, and that's when you discover genius. And I won't go through the process of telling you how he does it because
Right.
I don't know how much he wants it out there right now. But I do know that he has just announced last month that he's starting a school for new filmmakers to teach them his technique. And if I would advise anybody, if you are a filmmaker and you are interested in making films, this is the future of filmmaking. And you can come to it now or you can come to it later, but this is going to be how people make film. Already in Hollywood, producers are asking, oh, why can't you do this like Tyler Perry shoots it? And the reason why they can't is because if you haven't been on set, you don't understand how different it is.
So glad that you say that. So, and I really I like to break stuff down. So you said it's fast paced. Tasha Smith said it's fast paced. Taraji Henson said it's fast paced. So what does that mean? So when you walk on set, they bring you to your trailer, you read your script, or you have somebody read the script over with you, and then like how fast paced really is it? How many scenes?
Um,
How many times?
I'll give it to you like this. This is a typical day for me on set.
Right,
I walk on set, they give you a stack of papers that you're going to shoot today,
okay,
which you can't possibly memorize them all. But what you can do is you can memorize the first scene.
okay.
And then you get that first scene, you walk on set. Tyler comes up to me, goes, Rico, what's the scene about? He knows what the scene is about, but he just wants to know, make sure I know we're on the same page. I start telling them what the scene's about. Halfway through my explanation, he does this to the crew, and that means roller. So now sound's starting to roll, film's starting to roll. I'm still making the explanation. He steps out by the time I finish, and then he goes, and action, and you're on. It's off to the races, brother. It's off to the races. And the thing is, he doesn't like doing a lot of takes, so he doesn't, so if you mess up, he doesn't say stop, cut, let's reset, and all that. No, if you mess up, he just says, all right, let's go back. Cameras are still rolling, the sound's still rolling. He goes, let's go back and let's get that line clean. Or if you don't know that line, give him that line. Give him that line. You got the line? Okay. And action. Now you back off to the races again. And before you know it, the scene's over with. But what he also does is
God.
he shoots with multiple cameras. And he shoots with enough cameras where he can do the long shot, the medium shot, and the close-up shot all at one time.
Right.
So if you get it right, he's got it all right there. Boom. All right there. And you can move on to the next scene because he doesn't have to he doesn't have to reload. He doesn't have to reset up the cameras. He doesn't have to change the lighting. He manages to do it all at one time. And sometimes he may have as many as five cameras on tripods, and he may even have a couple of cameras on guys' shoulders where he's shooting simultaneously this whole scene of multiple people, and he's getting it all. But it's like a game of chess. You have to know every camera. You have to know where they are. You have to know that they're not blocking somebody else's view. You have to know that they're not in the shot themselves. You have to make sure every camera is focused and that they are at the distance you want them, whether it's a close up, a mid shot, or a long shot. So he's doing all this stuff, and he's calculating all of this in his mind as we're filming, and that's where he is different from other people. And that's where I think, even though you may know what he does, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can do it, because I think he is special at thinking about at multitasking, because that's what it requires. It requires a form of multitasking that most people aren't able to do. Yeah, most people aren't able to do it.
Yeah. 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 No. So,
But when you watch him do it, he
uh,
makes it look easy because I think he's done it for so long. And he gave a shout out to his editing team. He said whom he's been working with for over 10 years. And so a lot of times actors get a lot of credit for a production or their performance. And then the director gets a lot of credit for his directing. But people don't understand how important crew is. There are readers. There are six readers on the set that read our scenes while we're changing clothes. They're running lines with us for the next scene so that we can learn the next scene before we walk on set. Those people are so important because they wouldn't be there if they weren't needed. And if they weren't there, we wouldn't be able to walk on stage on set knowing our lines as well. And so the whole production would take a really slower pace because of that. People that feed us, keep us fed, and we don't have to worry about the energy dropping down. The grips, the cameramen, the focus pullers, the editing team itself, when they take this footage that has so much footage that you're going to leave on the ground, and when they edit it down to the show, Tyler says that when he gets it back, thanks to his team of editors, he says, I don't have to do a whole lot. They know what I like. And so I'm tweaking and I'm doing some stuff, but I don't do the heavy lifting because they've done the heavy lifting for us. So I just want to give a shout out to the crew of a production that puts so much in and gets so little acknowledgement for their value, because that's what it is. If they're not on point, the show's not on point. The actors can't be on point. The directors, none of it works well if the crew's not on point. The makeup, the hair, all of these people, wardrobe, they help make characters. They help give you the confidence to walk out there with. I mean, when I walk out there as Horace, I'm locked in. And I'm locked in because the wardrobe person has hooked me up with an outfit that makes me feel like Horace. The prop man gave me a cane and a cigar that makes me feel like Horace, help me find Horace. Um, when they light me up, if it's for a scene where I'm being malicious, you may notice that the lighting is a little more sinister, where there's a lot of shadows and whatnot. If they light me a scene where I'm being nice to somebody, that the lighting is softer. And so all these things, the music, there's a scene where I'm not saying much, but what I'm saying is poignant. But I notice there's some music that is playing in the background that is making this scene become more and more intense. And without that music, it wouldn't have the same effect. So it is such a teamwork experience when you're working on a film anywhere. But this particular type of filming, it's important because there's not a lot of time wasted, and so everybody has to be on point at the same time, and that's part of the genius of the production.
I love it. I really wish I was on set just to look and see, because like I said, you said it's fast paced, Taraji, all these people. So I definitely want to be on set to
Yeah, yeah.
see how it all works together. Now, my next
Mhm.
question to you is, Has this series changed your life? And if so, how has it changed your life?
It's changed my life. This is the biggest paycheck I've ever gotten. I've been in this business for over 4 years, 40 years. So it's the biggest paycheck. That's a change. It's also it's a part, it's a type of part that I've always wanted to play that has so many layers. I think the last time I was telling you, but when you first meet Horace, you think that he's on a fixed income and that he's a senior citizen that's poor. And later on, you find out that he's a multimillionaire. When you first meet him, you think that he's homophobic because he talks so badly about gay people. And later on, you find out that he's quite gay curious himself.
Mm-hmm.
When you first meet him, you think that he could be weak and feeble and not very strong. And later on, you find out that when it comes to an alpha man, this guy is straight up alpha with a capital A. When you first meet him, you may think that he's a villain, and later on, there's times when he's the hero. So to play a character that's written with this many layers as an actor, you have an opportunity to show what you got. If you ain't got nothing, you can't show nothing. But what Tyler has done with this character is he's saying, I'm gonna give you all the tools you need, and I'm gonna give you all the rope you need to run with it. And if you hang yourself, that's on you. But I'm gonna give it to you and see what you do with it. So for me, it's a dream role. Um, my co-star Richard Lawson said in the podcast, I was watching a podcast that he did, and he made this statement, which it was written probably by somebody else, but he said it, and it was the first time I heard it, and it was that if you're if you're striving for greatness, you have to learn to become comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so every role that I look for, I want something to challenge me. And that challenge is something that is uncomfortable for me. And it's not comfortable until I conquer it. And then it becomes comfortable. But I have to go through that process to figure it out, to conquer it. With Horace, there was a problem too. There were some things about this character that I felt were really a challenge for me to play. Um, I, I always said, I play a lot of alpha men, a lot of alpha guys, and to play a guy that's so strong, but sometimes in one of the scenes he wets himself. He pees in his pants.
I remember.
How vulnerable can you be as a character? I mean, you can't get any more vulnerable than that. So this guy is as much an alpha as he is, but at the same time, he's so vulnerable that there's a scene where he's actually peeing in his pants. Um, as a straight guy, playing a gay guy, playing someone who's really into a man's body and the beauty of a man's body, and finding that arousing and that sort of thing. If you're not going to play it, if you're not going to make it believable, then don't accept the job. That's where I look at it. If you're going to accept the job, then your job is to find a way to make that real, to make those moments real. Whatever you have to do, figure it out. And that was part of a challenge. I've got this guy here in front of me, beautiful body, great actor. I got to find a way to fall in love with this. So there were challenges there, and I love it because it made me work, and it also gave this character the depth that I thought that it was written with. And I just, it's a dream role for an actor.
Now, Horace has two secrets that nobody knows anything about. You ever thought about that, right? The cancer, and then that he's into guys. So, do you think one of those two secrets will come out in season two? Because nobody knows he has cancer. No one knows that
Right.
he's into guys. He hides it so well, and I feel like
I
they'll use
definitely
that
think,
as
I
leverage.
definitely think, I definitely think one of those are going to come out.
Yeah,
I definitely think one of those are going to come out in season two, and it's going to cause,
I
it's
think.
going to cause a bit of an explosion when it comes out. Yeah, I definitely think one of those are going to come out. Um, I mean, it would be interesting if both came out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, be both. I mean, whenever something happens to Horace, Horace doesn't have a great deal of screen time. I don't think it's more than anybody else necessarily. But when he is on screen, and this was conveyed to me by a fan, that when he does come on screen, there is going to be a shift in whatever's happening. There's going to be a shift because he comes in and he changes the directions of whatever the plot is going. And it's happening many times. It happens at the end of the show, season one, when he talks at the end of it. It happens during the scene when he talks to when he tries to get Kimmy to come on board at the first time, when he wants her to move into the house with him. These different things. Whenever he comes on screen, there's going to be a shift in the plot, and so I love that about him. And it was a fan that pointed that out to me. I mean, one of the things about playing a role like this and having such a large audience is that oftentimes you guys will pick up on something that we haven't figured out yet. Like
Oh,
when you said that he had two secrets, I was trying to figure out what are his two secrets, and you're absolutely right. Those are his two very close secrets. Yeah.
I want to know what direction they're gonna go, or Tyler's gonna go for Horrors for season two. It's like, cause
Well, I mean, I've been reading some of the comments, and the fans, a lot of those fans, they're closet writers because they have actually come out with a number of different scenarios of what of how he could resolve this illness that Horace has, and it's always fascinating to watch them come up with their different ideas.
so Rico, what's next? I mean, you're filming season two soon. I know,
Hmm.
Rico. I know it's coming. I just know it's coming. But what are you doing besides Beauty in Black?
Well, in a week's time, which is why I kept a beard, because normally when I'm not working, I don't have a full beard like this, but I'm shooting a Western, and this character is based on a real live character that was a bounty hunter right around the time when slavery was coming to an end. He was a black bounty hunter, and there's a TV series out about him right now. His name is Bass, and we have taken this character and we have put him in another Western, and it's a movie that we're shooting in Arizona in a week, and I'm really looking forward to it because I ride quite well. I've been riding horses since I was 9 years old, and so I get an opportunity to show another skill set that I have, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity for me to bring this character to life. Then I have a movie called An Unexpected Christmas that drops on Thanksgiving, and we've got a great cast for that. I think also last week a couple of episodes of Bosch: The Legacy dropped that I was in, and I've got a script that I have commissioned, and this writer has returned it back to me, and I'm loving the script, and it's a script about a therapist who gets accused of rape, and if you break the word therapist down into two words, it becomes the rapist. And so I've got this
I
script.
didn't I didn't even register that. Oh my God.
Right. So I've got the therapist script that we've just gotten back, and I'm that's one of the things that I have pitched to Tyler, and he told me to send it to his development team, and we're going to see maybe Tyler might be interested in developing it. But the beautiful thing about working with Tyler also is because he shoots so fast, he only requires a month of our time of the year, and the other 11 months you're free to go out and do whatever projects you have in mind. And he has been a serious component of asking us not to sit on Beauty in Black, but to use it as a springboard to bigger and better things. He just says, just make sure you just give me a month out of the year, and we'll be good. So that is what we're looking at. We're looking at these other projects that we have on. We're looking at showing the audience some range from me as an actor, me as an artist. We're looking forward to reviving Horace in season two. if that is the case. And it's all good. You know, we've got a new generation of audiences, of fans out there that I'm experiencing, and it's pretty amazing. I mean, I've had in my career of 4 decades, I've had ups, you know, where I've been hot and been cool and been hot and cool, but I'm always the same guy. It's
Uh,
just often it's the opportunities that you get. And so this has been a great opportunity, and I'm you know, I'm loving making the most of it.
so my last question to you is pay. Now, I've seen interviews of his different actors that went on podcasts and talked about their pay. You said this is the most money you've ever gotten out of your whole career. The most you ever gotten. That's crazy.
By
And
far.
Morgan,
And I've been in this business, and I've worked on, you know, I've worked on blockbusters like Mission Impossible. I've worked on huge films like Aliens, and I think Aliens, when Aliens came out, it was it had the largest subscription for DVDs of any movie. And this is the best paycheck I've got, and it's fitting that it would come from a black production. I love that fact that it has come from a black production, but it's also sad.
yeah. But, you know, you will have different opportunities that come for you. You're a phenomenal actor. Obviously, I'm in tune.
Thank you,
um,
thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
wait for season two. Like, and you make the character very believable. Um, and I'm like, he played that well. He played that role too well. Like I'm like, son, because when you tell, it's like when I talk to him, I'm like, you know, he's really pleasant, he's really nice. But when I look at this TV, I'm like, I don't know, he plays that role too well. You play that
You
role
know,
too well,
I got to tell you, sometimes when after a scene, I feel like apologizing to my co-stars because when I'm looking at them and I'm locked in character, I'm thinking bad things, you know. I'm thinking not nice things, and I know they can see it. I know they can see it in my eyes. But once he says cut, you know, I come back to earth. I almost feel like apologizing because I mean this shit. What I'm saying when I'm in the character, when I'm Horace don't play. He means what he says.
but I want to say thank you so much, Rico. This
All
is
right, my brother.
40 minutes. But thank you so much. Hopefully, after season two, you know, I will fly wherever you are. I will fly you to wherever I am if you're up to it. But again, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you for doing this because you did it the first time and then you're doing it again. So nothing but blessings to you.
Well, I'll say this: when the second season comes out, if I'm in it,
Mhm.
we'll talk after that.
He said it. Well, we know the truth. We know the truth. We know the truth. We know the truth. As good as your acting is, yeah, you're phenomenal. But again, I thank you and I
All right,
appreciate you. And I hope you have a great day, okay?
all right, my brother.
All right.
I take it. Peace.